Which note are you copying? Huh? Which note is this? After agree, then copy it. Are you not from agree? I need a reminder. What was the last thing that we did that we treated in the class? Sorry? Stop writing. Everybody stop writing. What was the last thing that we did in class? Yes. You didn't read before now. I think we did subdivision, Abi. So what are the things that we said in subdivision? What is subdivision? Huh? What is subdivision? We treated subdivision in our last class. So I'm asking you, what is subdivision?
I cannot read it off hard.
You cannot read it off hard. Okay, read from the book. Let me hear.
Subdivision is the process
Increase your volume. Increase your volume.
divided into two or more so cells or daughters. Cells
Eh,
divided
come again.
into
Now,
types of.
now your grammar is too much. Oh. Yeah, define the subdivision again. Let me hear.
Because me, I don't understand your writing, so things,
No, I didn't write it on the board. I said it out.
cell division.
Wait, was she the only one that jotted in our last class? Ah, okay. So this is new set. This is new set. The other set are rested. Okay. So you are being shifted. Okay. After this set, the next week now is the old one will come up and you will rest, Abi. Okay. It's a good thing. All right. So from what we did, we say that subdivision is a process whereby a parent cell a parent cell divide into two or more daughter cells. Okay, where a parent cell divide into two or more daughter cells. We say something that in plants and animal, plants have a cell called meristematic cells. Meristematic cells is found in the root tips of plants. That is the tips of plants. You know what is root tips, Rabbi? And then the shoot apex in plants. That is the shoot system. Plants have two systems, root system and shoot system. Do you understand? And meristematic cells are found there. These meristematic cells undergo a kind of division called what? Undergoes a kind of division called mitosis. That brings us to the types of cell division. The types of cell divisions are what? Mitosis and what? Meiosis. Two, mitosis and what? Meiosis. Now, this cell of this plant, they undergoes repeated division. As they undergoes repeated divisions, then the cells undergoes differentiation, thereby forming a mature organ. Of course, once a cell divides into numbers, it forms what? Tissues, right? Then from tissues, it then form what? Organs. Is that not so? The organ of this plant now is the root, the leaf, the stem. These are organs. Are we together? Even flowers, okay, are organs of plants. Now, these organs will not come into existence if there's nothing like cell division. The tiny cells must first of all undergo repeated division so as to able to produce what? Tissues, organ and system. Are we together, class? And we say that plant undergoes what? mitosis, right? That these cells of these plants, after undergoing this mitosis, they form what? Two daughter cells. Eh? In other words, they form what is known as diploid chromosomes. The numbers of chromosomes in the daughter cell is the same with the numbers of chromosomes in the parent cell. No wonder they are also called equatorial division or multiplicational division. I I know that most of you are not biology students, but okay. Oh, I asked you to stop writing. Then you can continue. You can start writing now. Eh? But this particular one, you can meet those that were in my previous class and get jotting from them. Hmm? All right. Now, and I say meiosis, right? Meiosis is a type of cell division whereby it produces what? Two daughter cells or four daughter cells. No wonder meiosis is of two types, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Meiosis 1 form two daughter cells. Meiosis 2 form what? Four daughter cells. And meiosis as a type of cell divisions takes place during gamete formations in animal. Are we together? I gave instances. In human, there is a process called oogenesis. You have heard of that word before, oogenesis, right? The process whereby oocytes undergoes. Very good. Now, I say that it occurs. I think I mentioned oogenesis, right? It also occurs in male gametes called in a male gamete, a process called spermatogenesis. Have you heard of spermatogenesis before? Have you heard of who have not heard of spermatogenesis? A process of formation of sperm cells in man. Eh? Meiosis takes place there. Meiosis as a type of cell division takes place. Okay, so as to produce a mature cell, so meiosis and mitosis takes place, or meiosis and mitosis usually is a process, is types of cell divisions that takes place in multicellular organism like plants or animal. Are we together? Mitosis and meiosis. And then I say that, yes, I say something that the chromosome in mitosis is what? Diploid, right? Now, the chromosome in meiosis is called haploid. Why? Because the chromosomes, the total numbers of chromosomes formed during meiosis is half, okay, is half of the total chromosomes of that of the parent. Like if the parent is 46, each of these daughter cell produces 23. It's not like mitosis that it produces 46. In meiosis it produces what? 23. Are we together? Then after producing 23, of course, in meiosis, I say it takes place in meiosis 1 and meiosis 2, right? Meiosis 1, it forms two daughter cells. Meiosis 2, it forms what? Four daughter cells. That was the thing. This was what we did in our previous class, and many more. Of course, I can't go back to it, from the beginning, but I have to just give a little summary, for the benefit of those that were not in class, as at when I taught that particular topic. Now, what the next in line, we shall start from what is known as farm input. Okay, when it comes to farm system, we have farm input and farm output. Eh? Okay, yes, you say farm input are like what? Tools. Tools. Very good. Very good. So we can still say that farm input are materials that in practicing agriculture, in practicing agriculture as an art, have some certain deficit or some certain shortcomings that comes in that actually affects the practices or the processes of agriculture. And the processes are: number one, we have land tenure system, inadequate infrastructure, finances, pollutions. Now, these are factors that affect agricultural development. Are we together, class? That affect agricultural development. There are problems that affect subsistence and even commercial agricultural system. Are we together, class? Now, in land tenure system, mostly, if it's um of course you actually need land, okay, for you to be able to plant crops. Is that not so? For you to be able to undergo this agricultural process, you need land. And what if you don't have land? And what if in most cases there are challenges that comes in when it comes to land. I've seen in a situation where after planting your crops, maybe you maybe you rent a particular land, and then you now plant your crops. I've seen a situation where the owner of the land comes in and says, sorry, I want to use my land. Do you understand? I want to use my land. And then they will start making foundation on your crops. Do you understand? So now, once that happens, it has affected the system entirely. It happens and it discourages. Are we together? Now, infrastructures, inadequate infrastructures. What are the infrastructures, class? What are the examples of infrastructures?
Like, I don't get
Eh?
in what
Infrastructures generally in the community. Uh,
like the equipment is it talking about commercial, right?
yeah, generally infrastructures in the environment. Now, provision of good road is an infrastructure. Water is also it. Do you understand?
Like
Light,
farming.
you understand? These are natural things that government provide or community provide, okay, in a society. Now, imagine if there is no light. Imagine if there is no good road. Don't you think that it will affect quality yield of production? Because if there is no good road, it will affect the productions. Most times your crops might even spoil on the road because of bad roads. Do you understand? And most times, environment that have bad roads tends to, of course, there is high increments in the price of food in such environment because of the bad roads, because of the damages that vehicles we have to undergo in passing through that bad roads. Okay, what about infrastructures? Of course, plants, farmland actually needs what? Water for irrigation process. Is that not so? Farmland needs water. Imagine if there's no water. It will be a big problem. Is that not so? So infrastructures, provisions of, inadequate provisions of infrastructures is one of the factors, okay, that affect the development of what agricultural system. Are we together, class? Finances. You know this one. Finance is a general thing. Finances. Most of us here, if you have the opportunity, if you are given some certain amount of money, you can decide to go into agriculture, maybe commercial agriculture. But because there's no money, you just stay and maybe sell bonds. You want to see me? Are we together, class? So finance is a good factors that actually affect agricultural system. It is true that commercial banks give loans, is that not so, to agriculturists, so as to carry out agricultural practices. Is that not so? But mostly But most times, for if a bank should give you a loan, that means you must have a good business plan. Is that also your business plan must be convincing, and most times you will even have collateral self. Do you understand? Imagine there is no collateral. You know what is collateral, right? So that in case they say, okay, you are supposed to pay, you collect 5 million, and then you tell the bank that you are supposed to pay. So yeah, you have to give something as collateral. Maybe your house, something that worth that amount. So that in case you not provide, they will just carry it jejely. Eh? So finance is a big factor that affects agricultural system.
What if you don't have anything? Are they going to do?
If you don't have anything, except if it's a grant, but most times, if I wish it's possible for anyone to go to the bank and then you request for loan that you want to start an agricultural business. I wish it's possible that banks will just give loan just like that. But actually, for banks to give you loan, it must follow due process. Do you understand? Because anybody can come out from anywhere that I want to practice. I want to go into agriculture. Eh? I want to go. Maybe you need money. You just go and lie that you want to practice. Then you collect money and run. So the bank will lose now. But if there is something to hold on to, maybe a good guarantor or something to hold on to, then they can give you the loan. But it follows processes, due processes, and your business plan must be convincing. If your business plan is not convincing, forget it. Pollution. What is pollution? You know what is pollution, right? Who do not know what is pollution? You can define it in your head. Okay. Okay. Just try anyhow. Just try. What is pollution?
For example, like the air now, the smoke, like the contamination of say air, just for my like part of process whereby the air is being contaminated with bad substances like smoke.
Okay. Is it just the air? It can be land, it can be water, right? Very good. Yeah, exactly. The water, the land, yeah, the land now comprises of the environment, right? The water is water body, is that not so? Then the air is the atmosphere, the gases that goes to the air. Yes. Now, pollution, you see pollution, it's a very important factors, and it's one of the factors that affect agricultural, that reduces agricultural yield. Do you understand? It is one of the factors that affect what? Agricultural system. Pollutions, applications of pollutants or applications of unwanted materials, okay, either to the atmosphere, to the land, or to water bodies. Okay, yes. Now, let's proceed. Let's say most manufacturing industries. Manufacturing industries, right? Most manufacturing industries that produces chemicals, that produces fertilizers, and many others tends to leave waste products as debris. Okay, tends to leave what? Waste product as debris from the manufacturing process. Are we together? And this debris that comes out, this waste product that comes out, can either pollute the atmosphere or pollute water body if not properly disposed. Are we together? If not what? Properly disposed. Imagine if there is oil spillage on land. What is oil spillage? Imagine if there is oil spillage on land where ordinarily plant is supposed to grow. Of course, it will make that land to become infertile automatically. Do you understand what I'm saying? Makes the plant to what? Become what? Infertile automatically. So pollution, land pollution, air pollution, water pollution are factors that that actually affect agricultural system. Are we together, class? The next the next is establishment of National Research Institute. National Research Institute. Office here. Can you mention any research institute that you know? Okay, what is a research institute? What do you understand by the word research institute?
I think like organizations that go on research for like farming.
Okay.
body of an organization that they put the subject to do some research about the
Okay, about plants, about animals.
plant, the land.
That is true. That is true. That is true. Okay. Now we have many research institutes here in Nigeria. Okay. We have many research institutes. Even NIPRID is a research institute. NIPRID is in Abuja here. NIPRID. NIPRID is in Abuja here. Is a research institute that NIPRID is spelled NIPRID. Now, NIPRID is a research institute that they have different faculties. Okay, they have different faculties. They have pharmaceutical faculties. They have agricultural faculties. Are we together, class?
So you say it's a research one.
Hmm?
It's a research one.
Institute. Now, in the agricultural settings of this research institute, or basically all research institutes, the functions their primary function is to do testings on crops, okay, and also to ensure that crops do not go into extinction. That yes, they have the tendencies in research institute. They have the tendency of growing plants in the lab, okay, in vitro, of growing cells of plants in media, of growing cells of plants in the media. Media is it's more of like chemical component that comprises different nutrients used in growing a particular organisms. Do you understand? uh Like of course we have media for microorganisms like bacteria, media for fungi. Okay, do you understand? Media for different organisms. But yeah, the medias that is used here contains gelatins for plants, contains minerals, macro minerals, and then micro minerals, and of course contains even organic nutrients. Okay, micro and macro, they are inorganic. You know that, right? Then the organic nutrients, of course, are nutrients either directly from plants or from animals. Are we together? So the media is the media is a combination of all these factors. Okay, so for the since this media is rich with these nutrients, researchers, scientists can actually use this media to grow plants. Yes, I remember when I went to NIPRI, the the research institute, I was able to witness how they were able to grow some plants in the lab. Okay, how they were able to grow plants in the lab. They um they prepare it inside a petri dish. They prepare this plant, they prepare the cells, I mean, they prepare the media rather, inside a petri dish. Then the cells of this plant begin to undergo mitotic divisions. At the end of the day, as it keep forming tissues, then it forms organ. At the point of organ, where is the point where you start seeing leaf coming out from the petri dish. The leaves start coming out, roots start growing. Then at the end of the day, they transplant these plants from the petri dish, transplant it into the soil. Okay, transplant. You can do anything. Even you can actually do this, practice this process using either you can grow apple, plantain, name it, whatever, inside this petri dish. Then at the end of the day, you transplant it into a nourished a soil, an humus soil. Okay,
Soil inside.
that is it. There's no soil inside. Okay, there's no soil inside. Normally, there's supposed to be soil, Abi. Yes, there's no soil inside. It's just like a combination of a jelly-like substance called gelatins. The gelatins holds. It's more of like, let me just use gum. More of like gum that holds something together. Then the inside the petri dish, there is macronutrients and micronutrients. There is also organic what nutrient inside the petri dish. Do you understand? Another constituent inside the petri dish. Then once they inoculate the cell of this organism in the petri dish, the cell will undergo mitotic divisions to form tissues. From tissues, then form organ. At the organ level, it's at the point where you start noticing the plant growing, leaf will start coming up, roots will start developing. Do you understand? Then they will have to leave it to grow for some certain height. Then they transplant it inside the lab, not outside, without soil. It's magical.
That's what I wanted to ask.
That is it. It's highly magical. Are we together? So research institute actually allows these things to happen. So by practicing this, you know that it's difficult for any plant to undergo extinction, right? Where they will no more exist. You understand? You know what is extinction, but
So, is it possible for a plant to grow without
without seed.
like soil?
Why not? It's the same thing I explained. They okay, just like the way. Okay, let me give one instance. Let me give one instance. Um, there is this organism, bacteria called Escherichia coli, or also known as E. coli. Normally, they are enteric organism. Okay, they grows in the mesophilic temperature of animal. Do you understand? Now, they grows. They feed on your blood. They feed on metabolism of the body, but they can still be grown outside the body by preparing a a pseudo. Should I use that pseudo? By preparing a nutrient that resemble that of the nutrient in animal, the host. Do you understand? That resemble it. So once it stays there, of course, the nutrients sef, they will even add more nutrients, so that they can grow very fast. So that they can grow very fast. So in the absence of the host, it can still grow outside, but you have to prepare. You must undergo some preparatory processes. The nutrients, the media must undergo some preparatory processes so as to provide nourishment for this organism. So the same thing for the plants. Even without soil, the soil, of course you know that soil, soil. Eh? Reason why plants can grow in the soil is because of some factors. Is that also like nutrients? Is that also nutrients? If there is no nutrient in the soil, can plant grow? What are these nutrients? Organic nutrients and inorganic nutrients. Is that also? What are the inorganic nutrients? The macronutrients and micronutrients, right? Organic nutrients are nutrients from animals or plants. Is that also? Now, as animals die, they leave their nutrient to the soil. Are we together? They leave nutrient to the soil. The same way, As they leave organic nutrients, they also leave inorganic nutrients to the soil, thereby nourishing the soil. Do you understand? At the process of nourishing the soil, they changes the color of the soil. Changes, changes the color. Have you not gone to the field? Have you not gone to where there is crops? Have you compared have you compared the soil in a farmland to the soil that they use in building house? Have you compared it? It's different. The color, everything, texture, color, everything different because of the presence of what? These nutrients that is dissolved in the soil. So once the same, if nutrient can be found in the soil to grow this plant, the nutrient can also be produced, can also be prepared and be grown in a lab. Do you understand? Just let all these things be in place. Let all these things be in place. Once the nutrients are in place, can be growing in a lab. It's highly interesting. Highly interesting. As a matter of fact, is one of the artificial vegetative propagations of organisms, of plants. Artificial vegetative propagations. When it comes to propagations, vegetative propagations, we have what you know as natural vegetative propagations, artificial vegetative propagations. Artificial vegetative propagations, we have grafting, layering, right? Very good. Then tissue culturing. Now the tissue culturing now is what I explained, that it grows in the lab where it forms organ. Then plant comes out. You see, it's an artificial way of growing organism. Do you understand? But in the lab. Okay. Now, what are these research institutes? We have different research institutes located in different parts of the country. We have NCRI. It's an acronym for Natural Cereal Research Institute. Natural Cereal Research Institute. Please, so hello class. I want you. Eh? I have a feeling. Most of you will be writing Jamb, abi? Is it Jamb or Y? Y and Jamb. I have a feeling that these acronyms will come out. This NCRI, they say what is the full meaning of NCRI? Something like that. Then they will ask you to give the full meaning, something like that. So I have few of them here. And I have few of them here. CEREA Research Institute. Cereal, you know what is cereal, abi? Like rice, wheat, millet. Yes. Now they are research institute that their specifications is just that. They focus on it. Do you understand? They focus on it. They study it and ensures, of course, problems that comes in with all these crops. They are the people that find solution to it. Do you understand? Now we have a IAR, and T. That is Institute of Agricultural Research and Technology. Institute of Agricultural Research and Technology. IAR and T. Now, hello class. This institute, their basic specifications, they have different specifications anyway. But one of the specifications is that they deals with genetic improvement of certain crops. Okay, genetic improvement. Genetic improvements of cowpea, of sorghum, of maize, of cotton, of sunflower, and many more. Eh? What happened to your voice? You don't lose anana. Genetic improvements of maize, groundnut, cotton, sunflower, cowpea. Another research institute is Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria, which is CRIN, Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria, Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria. That one is self-explanatory, right? From the word cocoa. Okay, Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria. Eh? Now, I mean, it's a research institute that their specifications is what improvement of cocoa plants. Eh? Of cocoa plants. Um, I mean, cocoa plants in producing coffee and teas and many others. Improvement of this cocoa as a plant, and of course, they also they since they study cocoa, they have the tendency of they have the ability or they have a sector that deals with the study of diseases that affect what cocoa, and of course finding solution to it. I hope you know what I'm saying. Cocoa, um, cocoa is actually affected by a virus. Try to remember the virus. The causes a disease called blight. Some black spots on cocoa. I don't know if wait. What I've seen cocoa plant before? Huh?
Never seen.
You have seen.
Let me read your notes.
All right. Now we have the Nigeria Institute of Oil Palm Research. Nigeria Institute of what? Oil Palm Research. NIFOM. Nigeria Institute of Oil Palm Research. NIFOR. Eh? OR. Eh? Yeah. The abbreviation is NIFOR. Nigeria Institute of Oil Palm Research. It is an institute that their specifications is for what? I mean, they they have the tendency of genetically modifying palm trees, okay, palm trees so as to produce a good yield or good fruit. Do you understand?
Yes.
Then we have what known as Forest Research Institute of Nigeria. Forest Research Institute of Nigeria. FRIN. Forest Research Institute of Nigeria. Now, their research institute though this research institute have different specifications, okay, but they monitor the sowing of trees, okay, of forestries. Yes, they study trees, they study plants, okay, that is just their specifications, and then they ensure that there's no, I mean, they reduces random, cuttings of trees, okay, of deforestations. All right, on your own, please, on your own, check the meaning of NRCRI. NRCRI is an acronym. NRCRI, and their discipline, their specifications. Then also check NIHORT. You're not writing, you don't tire, right? Okay. NIHORT and the specifications. Also check LCRI. Eh? And you can also write more research institute. You can write more research institute, their specifications, even their locations where they are found, where they are being established. You can even do that. Do you understand? Also check for N check for RTEP. Check for FADAMA. 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 Check for NAFPP. Check for NALDA. NALDA. They are much, abeg. You write, have have mention litanies of them, and of course their specifications, what they do. Okay. Now let's look at roles of government, and NGOs, non-governmental organization in agricultural development. Okay. Yeah, we talked about the problems of agricultural development, right? Now we are talking about the roles of what government and non-governmental organizations in agricultural development. I think I should write them. Please, once it's two, let me know. Okay, what are you doing? Hope you can see what is on the board.
This agricultural what?
Which one?
Section
The second one.
other than development, then agriculture like this.
Law, agricultural law and reform. Agricultural law and reform. Okay, give us space, eh? All right. Now, we said roles of agriculture roles of government. You can pass. All right. Roles of government, eh? Roles of government and non-governmental organizations in agricultural development. And I say one of it is what? Development of what? Policies favorable to agricultural production. Eh? Development of what? Policies. Okay? Now, development of policies favorable for agricultural system. Yes. Governments governments of course have in in playing a role for the development in agricultural system. They have actually developed policies, okay, different policies, so as to favor agricultural system. Okay, they have developed what policies so as to what favor agricultural system. Yes, and one of the policies is importations duties, and of course bans of what importations, bans of importations. Now, of course, there is reason for banning importations. Bans importations, I mean there is benefits rather in banning importations. The benefit of banning importations is to give us the leverage to produce commodities by ourselves. Do you understand? Instead of depending on outside, but instead we produce it by ourselves. Do you understand? Because if we solely depend on importations of goods, then there won't be any need for agricultural practices here in this country. Do you understand? So banning of importations actually favors what, or is one of the policies rather, that I think there was a time that that one of the former president banned importations of rice. Is that not so? Yes, ban importations of rice. Then and then encourage the Nigerians, encourage we to start farming rice. Do you understand? Encourage start farm. I think there was loan on, there was grants to back up this development. There was loan, there was backup, there was loan to back up the development. So it happens. Of course, these are practices, okay? These are moves made by government in developing agricultural system. Are we together? At least if we talk bad, we talk good now. Abi? Eh? They not give. So they say they give. They say they give. Let's leave it that they give. Eh? But I did not see. But they gave. So let's leave it. They gave. It's all right. Now, another policies is agricultural law and reforms. Law, law on land, law that is law on land, law on disposal of pollutants. In fact, law, even farming system, live different laws. Now, of course, you know these things, that law is actually, law is highly essential, right? You know that, right? Law guides community. Law guides community and place community in the right track. Is that not so? Now, in providing laws, in the use of land and disposals of waste products, it guides farmers and of course production industries in on how to what dispose their waste products so as to prevent pollution that we treated. Do you understand? And of course the use of land, so as the use of land, and of course the where you farm, plant your crops and all that, you get. So this, there are laws that actually guides all these things, and there are consequences that also follows. You know, if once there is law, there is also consequences, right? In case you breach the law. Is that not so? Once you breach the law, there will be consequences. You know that, right? Now, another is where is it? Yes, government program, program like subsidies. You know subsidies now. Yes. What do you think? How do you think? I mean, what do you? Okay, what is subsidy for the first place?
Reduce like reduce something in half and
To subsidize it, Abi? And I think there was something like fuel subsidy. Is that not so? And because of fuel subsidy, there was low in price of price of fuel. Is that not so? And since there is low in price of fuel, do you know that it actually favors agricultural system? because it makes it possible, it makes it easier for farmers to be able to buy fuel, petrol, to transport their goods from farm to warehouse, and of course from warehouse to farm. Do you understand? So subsidies is actually one of the policies that that favors, that government applied in agricultural system. And I think we have credit facilities, that is loan. Credit facilities, that is loan, where farmers, I think I mentioned something like that, where farmers are given the leverage to what, go to commercial banks and then what, collect loan for agricultural what system. Are we together, class? And I say something that in collecting loans, if of course you must have, if as a new farmer, you must have what, a good business plan, because you want to venture into it, is that also? But if you are already establishing, eh if you are already establishing, if you are already an established farmer, well known, that one it will be easy, because you know that, because they will know that, you understand, so you are known. But in a situation where you, like, if you come and meet me now, ask me to borrow you 20,000, I will first of all think twice. What if I give this girl and she disappear? You understand? So I will start thinking many things. So credit facilities is one of the factors, or one of the development policies of government, okay, to agricultural what system. What else again? Provide provisions of what, infrastructures. Is that not so? Provisions of what, I think these things you did it in secondary schools. All this is now. Is it new? It's new to you? Hey, okay. Provisions of infrastructures, like transport system, communication system, good water, you understand? These are infrastructures that government can provide in a community, so as to what, aid agricultural, or to provide good yield for in agricultural produce. Are we together, class? Of course, transport system has to do with, you know what the transport system, right? Provisions of good roads, even provisions of even vehicle. Do you understand? Even free vehicle sef, can still serve as one of the this thing, but majorly road. Then communications,
Network.
network. Okay, all right. Yes, that is true. Of course, governments have, in their own contributions to agricultural system, have provide different mask. Is that also provide mask in rural areas, in urban areas? Is that also? Without mask, will there be communication? Will there be transmissions? There won't be transmissions. And it is government that provide this mask, so as to aid in communication system. Is that not so? So with the aid of mask, it makes it possible for communications to happen between individuals. Okay, so these things are contributions by government, so as to favor productions of what, so as to favors agricultural produce or agricultural system. Are we good? Are we together, class? Are we together? Any question? Now let's look at a new topic: soil formation. Abi, rock and soil formation. Rock and soil formation. Rock and soil formation. Class, oh, do you know how soil is formed? Oh, really? You don't know how soil is formed? You say you are not a. Okay, all right. Now, in ecology, there is what we call primary succession and secondary succession. And the noise from everywhere is distracting me with passion. Ah, this student, there should be door at the back. The heat itself is something else. Than 5 minutes around. Okay, I talked about primary succession. In ecology, there is what we call primary succession and secondary succession. Primary successions are organisms that forms pioneers in an environment. Do you understand? Are organisms that form pioneers. That is, they are first organisms in an environment. Like for example, a moss plant or Moses plant. You know Moses plant? Eh? Okay, so it's your textbook, but it's you can see it in your environment. Okay, how many of us fetch water from borehole here? From what? You fetch water from borehole. You fetch now. You carry the water on your head. Okay, now that's where you untap. You see where you untap. Do you notice anything like green something there? No. Spirogyra is usually found mostly in water environment. Okay, yeah. Spirogyra is an example of algae under the class Chlorophyceae. Okay, all right. Now, even leaching. You know leaching, right? Hey, leaching. Lichen. Don't know leaching. Leaching is a symbiotic relationship between algae and fungi. They form leaching. Combinations of algae and fungi form leaching. Now, these organisms rather, they grow on rock. Are we together? They grow on rock. Now, as they grow on rock, especially leaching, they release acid called oxalic acid. The acid gradually breaks this rock into simple. Keep breaking it until it breaks it down to soil level. Are we together? Yes. For soil to be formed, it takes a long period of time. Do you understand? Long period of time. And I mentioned Moses plant. Most Moses plants are found in an environment where no plants have grown before. Are we together? Where no plant have grown. They make sure that they are the first organism. Do you understand? Now, once they die, forming soil, the nutrient of that plant stays in the soil, thereby giving nutrient to that soil, thereby favoring growth of a different favoring growth of a different plant. Do you understand what I'm saying, class? So this is how soil is formed. Soil is formed as a result of what? Decompositions or release of acid by pioneers plants on rock. And I mentioned leaching, right? And I mentioned most plants. Most plants break soil, they break rock into forming soil. Are we together? Now let's say leaching. We have different types of leaching. We have folios, we have crustaceans. Okay, don't worry. I'm just saying it. It's not in your syllable. I just want to say it. Now, have you seen rock where you see something as if you see on rock on stone, not stone in your environment. I'm talking about maybe in the village, your village where there's street. In a particular rock, there is something that grows on this rock. Some are white as if they are grey. Some have different colors, some are red on top of rock, as if some are flat. They are flat, covers it as if it's dirty, as if it's dirt. Have you not noticed anything like that? See, it's good to watch your environment and study environment. Do you understand? Study environment. These things are something that is not only found in your textbooks, but it's found in your environment. Something that you can see in the village. Even on trees, it's also found on trees. Have you not seen it on trees where you see different color, as if it's growing, as if you can't even tell if it's a plant, as if the plant is dying. You see it at different, maybe white, different colors will come out. Eh? That is leaching. Thank you. Exactly. Some even have orange colors, have different colors. Okay, these are leaching. So, hello class. So once they stay on this rock, they keep breaking the rock, the size of the rock keep reducing, because of the acid that they release. As it keep reducing, then it breaks down into rock, into soil. As they die, they leave nutrients. As leaf of plant falls on the soil, the leaf of plant still leave nutrients. The organism in the plant give nutrient. At the end of the day, you will realize that the soil will now be nourished, now be good for what? Plants. Do you understand? The spores of plants will now fall on it, now grow into a new fresh plant. Do you understand? So there are also other ways that plants, there are also other ways of let me see. Okay, I think we should end here. In our next class, I will teach you how we will treat weathering, and types of weathering. We also treat factors that affect weatherings, factors that affect soil rock weatherings, factors that affect rock weatherings. We also look at properties of soil. Do you understand? Physical properties of soil. And look, are we together, class? We also look at what? Physical properties of soil, and then we look at soil profile. Soil have different layers. Very, very interesting. Soil have different layers from the ground going down, where you find rock. We mention the layers from up going down. We mention it down until we touch ground. Do you understand? All right. This one is biology, sha, but you learn. I'm done.